We all struggle with negative thinking at some point in our lives, some more often and intense than others. These negative thoughts are what drain your energy, they steal your enthusiasm, demotivate you, create agitation and despair in you, and even cause you to hurt and despise others and resent situations and people. So it is your thoughts that are doing these to you, not the people or the events out there. You see, everything is happening out there as it needs to happen. Events are occurring, people are behaving in accordance with what's in them because their thoughts generate their spoken words as well as written words, and they create feelings and emotions that, when all combined, they end up being translated and get expressed in one's attitudes, behaviors, actions, and even health. So, the quality of these are determined by the quality of your thoughts. And if your attitudes, behaviors, actions, feelings, or your health are negative, these are actually a result of your negative thinking. So now we know where the problem lies. We can go about and do some investigation into the negative thinking and find solutions to eliminate this continuous negative thinking that create your negative state of being, your actions, your emotions, your feelings, and your aura, as well as even cut those negative karmic ties that bond you, that is bondage for you with others and situations. And that's one thing you really want to make sure you take care of in this lifetime. And don't worry, part of the solution, I'm not going to be asking you or telling you to stop thinking because that's a new age concept, a new age thing, it's an in thing. Okay, if I ask you to stop thinking, you know what you're going to do? Use thought to stop thinking, the very thing that plagues you. And what happens? Your negative thoughts are going to end up intensifying. So, how can you go about eliminating this negative thinking, the impact of negative thinking that plagues you daily? The first thing I'm going to say is, first of all, let us forget about all those people out there. You know, the people you don't like, the people who irritate you, or the people who judge you and condemn you, disapprove of you, and you of them. You're going to forget all the situations out there that you don't like. When you do that, all that you're left with is you. This is about you, and that's where your focus needs to go. And that is why I love to say life is all about you. Because when you take care of this, everything out there will start to feel and seem to be better, experienced better. So now we can investigate, why is it you have the kind of thoughts you have? In particular, the negative ones. We're not going to look into the positive ones because they don't disturb like the negative ones. Although, even if you were to pursue a positive thought, you can end up having a negative outcome. It could result in a negative outcome. And what that does is generate negative thinking. Negative thoughts start to arise. You know, for example, you might come up with this thought, oh, let me pursue my passion, this thing I always dreamt about doing. Or maybe a love interest. He doesn't look too bad, you know. She might make a good wife or a good girlfriend. Guess what happens? They are lofty thoughts, they're beautiful thoughts, great idea. Let me pursue it. And in the process, something happens that doesn't go your way, something arises that you do not like, and guess what happens? All the negative thinking starts to occur. So, even with a positive thought, you have to be careful because a negative one can come out of it. So now we know the whole problem of your frustration lies in your thoughts. What you need to do is to start becoming very aware of how these negative thoughts get generated. You see, thoughts are subtle because they're energy vibrating at a frequency. And even though they're subtle, they're quite powerful. Why? Because they can actually generate physical outcomes and impact and affect lives. You see, thoughts of peace, of love, of beauty, of kindness, of caring, gratitude, and understanding, these are light in nature. They vibrate so beautifully in life. And when you have these type of thoughts, what happen? They will naturally get translated into matching spoken words and written words. And these words are going to be light and beautiful and caring and loving and thoughtful. Thoughtful. And what these thoughts do is they are going to generate similar types of feelings in you that get expressed into equivalent actions. And when these type of beautiful thoughts are dominant, they become your very nature. So if you're a kind and caring person, you don't have to actually sit down and say, let me think who I could be kind to today. Who can I be caring for today? You don't have to figure that out. Caring arises, kindness arises, thoughtfulness arises, and subtle opportunities will stand before you daily, I can assure you, that will give you the opportunity to express this in some way. That what happened to people is that they try to be kind, they try to be caring because they're not theirs yet. In other words, when you do that, you are actually wanting to pick and choose to whom you should be kind, to whom you should be caring. And you want it on your terms. So, in other words, you're being selective. It doesn't work that way. When these beautiful thoughts of peace, of love, of kindness, of caring, of all these understanding, what happens? They are your nature, and therefore they will become very all inclusive. And it will be with you wherever you go, in whatever situation you find yourself in, they will express themselves in the same manner. I'm not saying to allow people to take advantage of you. That's just my little caveat. Now, when we look at thoughts such as, I hate that person, oh, she's so irritating, those government officials are so aggravating, guess what? I know many of you are saying that, so admit it, okay? Especially in the last year and a quarter, okay? Um, you say things such as, I just dread having to deal with that situation. Oh, I can't stand it. What happens? This energy, what is this kind of energy? It's an intense energy, a heavy energy that does not flow lightly and beautifully like loving thoughts, caring thoughts, kind thoughts, understanding thoughts. These type of thoughts of energy, hate and aggravation, and they are dread. It's heavy energy, and what they do, they drag you down and they actually deplete your energy. So where do you get these kind of thoughts, negative thoughts, and why do they arise? They keep arising, even though all you want to do is have beautiful thoughts. When we get the answer, you're going to find that it will become part of your solution. You see, everything you expose yourself to, everything you've exposed yourself to, from childhood to adulthood, everything you watch, everything you see, from the videos you watch, the movies you indulge in. If you keep watching violent movies, intense movies, drama, soap operas, if they're not teaching you something positive, what they do, these things leave violent, uh, aggravated feelings in you, and they impress your thoughts without you realizing it. Everything you listen to, all the debates and discussions, everything you read, the articles you read online, words that you see that are imprinted on t-shirts, and even on the plaques on your walls, they impress you. The company you keep, the conversations in which you engage, all these things are actually teaching you, and you learn from them how to criticize, blame, complain, judge and condemn, abandon, become prejudicial, you become biased, and you learn how to hate. Evidence of this, just look at politics, look at the news, see what you're doing, how these are impacting you. And when you have a continuous and excessive exposure to these influences, what they do is that every time you expose yourself, a layer is formed, left in you. A deep negative imprint is left on your psyche and your mood. And every time you do it, and it's excessive, it keeps leaving a layer, another layer, another layer, another layer, and it keeps piling up. Why? Because what you do is you slump yourself in front of your TV or online or your phone or some article you're reading, and if it's negative in nature, what happened? You slump yourself there and you're glued in, but you're not cued in on what's happening in you. See, these negative thought energies, they create agitation in you. And when you're dealing with others or situations that you don't like, that you don't find are favorable. And why this happens? Because it's based upon all your accumulated negative influences that you've allowed into your life, all the different environments to which you were exposed, that you unconsciously allowed to impregnate your state of being. So it is you. You are responsible for your happiness and unhappiness, for your frustrations, for your negative thinking or your positive thinking. Not the people, the situations out there. They're just doing their thing as they know it, right? It is you who are responsible because you allowed it in. And this is not about blaming, okay? I don't want you to go and blame yourself and bring yourself down. This is about realizing, knowing what you're doing, seeing exactly what you're doing, and now taking responsibility. And when you own up and take responsibility for what's happening in you, then we're in a place where we can take corrective action, corrective measure through solutions. I care about you and how you feel on the inside and how you experience life. I want you to feel light and beautiful and free, not nagged continually by negative thinking that ruin your relationships and create defeats and negative karmic bondage with others and even events. Remember, I want you to remember that we're all made in the image and likeness of God, which is love. And I want to help you wipe out that old concept of you are a sinner, you're a sinner, you're a sinner from seeping through your psyche. This is so negative. Yes, we know we've all fallen from grace, but we had a choice. Choose a positive thought or choose a negative one. And what did we choose? The negative thought of, you're a sinner, you're a sinner. Why didn't we choose the positive thought of, oh, I am made in the image and likeness of God? Okay? When we choose, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner, all that is doing, it becomes like an affirmation in your life. You keep reaffirming it. and therefore that is all you'll ever amount to be. So we're going to use a new affirmation now to impress upon your consciousness. I am made in the beautiful image and likeness of God. So what will happen? Automatically, over time and in due course, you keep reminding yourself and keep reaffirming, I am made in the image and likeness of God. I am love, I'm beauty, I'm goodness. What will happen? You will rise up to this and you will get rid of your negative thinking, especially of others, of your own self, of situations. And in the next session, I will share with you real solutions, doable solutions, and solutions that work. And how do we know they work? Well, you will get to test them. You get to experiment with them so that you can attest to them working in your life. I can sit here and say, yes, I've used it, and I have, and I'm continuing to use these solutions, especially during this period of the last year and a half, given our current world situation. I just wanted to end off by telling you, I am not a storyteller. You know, many people can sit and tell you great stories of transformation and they feel good and encouraged. You may end up feeling good and encouraged, which is great because at least it is positive. But what happens in you is that that good feeling will last maybe a few hours, a few days if you're lucky. And what happened? You would end up forgetting about the story and the message in it, and you continue living and being and acting unconsciously, and the negative thinking overtakes you. I can't tell you stories because I'm not a great storyteller. I may throw in one now and then. So I, at least I hope that in my messages, I can shed some light in areas of life to help elevate you and provide you with actual doable things to make a positive difference to help you progress on your spiritual journey. And I believe that together we could do it. So, in the next session, session 2, together we will solve your continuous negative thinking. So, join me then and stay tuned.